If you've ever felt like the third wheel, this podcast is for you.
If you love Wheel of Time, this podcast is for you.
If you're bored and have nothing better to do, this podcast is for you.
Join Rob,
Megan,
And Jen,
in celebrating the Wheel of Time
and its statistically best fandom,
and ridiculous gaming skills,
and probably a few cocktails.
and find out which one of them will be the third wheel this time.
This is
three-wheeling.
Hello.
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 Welcome.
I say
Welcome,
yay
welcome.
every time about our song. I'm like,
Yeah,
our
it's
song.
our classic. You know, some people have a structured intro. Ours, we have a structure. It goes, oh, yay, and
Exactly.
how much we love, and we just pop in the background as it plays. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
Meg, Jen, it's been an up and down week or so personally for me, but it's been a great time to be a Wheel of Time fan. I'm glad to see your faces. How are you two doing?
Glad to
Good.
see your face too.
Very
It's been
excited
good.
to talk about all of it. Yeah.
I mean, to quote Jessica Sedai, the hype is real.
The
There's
hype
some
is
sweet
real.
factor. There's some
Do
sweet
you
factor
know what's
happening.
behind me on my desk here? What's
A
this?
Oh,
poster
good
signed by
Lord.
Rosamund Pike. You
Uh-huh.
look at that.
Yeah, but I didn't tell you the best bit.
What's the best bit?
Okay, tell us the best bit.
Because I, along with a few other people, was a bit of a badass, and we took multiple posters.
Oh,
How many do you have?
I have 12 posters.
oh my god! One for each month for next year's calendar.
No,
Yeah.
I have one for me, and one for Lesbian Nerdy, and one for Roger, and one for Mel, and one for Leia, and one for Mies, and one for Meg, and one for Jen, and one and one for What a Holiday, and one for the Malkiricon charity auction, and then one spare.
Aw,
Nice,
thank
thank
you.
you. Megan is making a heart with her hands right now for those
I
of you
am.
who are
Yes. Oh,
listening.
yeah.
So, and I am going to, if everything works out when I get to WhatCon, fingers crossed, I will bring the extras, and I'm going to be like, hey Sharon, you made this outfit. Do you want to sign the poster? You know?
Yes,
Oh,
please.
yeah,
Oh
do
my
that.
God.
Yeah.
So,
Oh
Yeah.
my
but
God.
yeah, I literally, I stole. So Lesbian Nerdy asked me to. I'm really just jumping straight into this. Apparently, Lesbian Nerdy asked me. She's like, if you can get an extra poster, this is great. Now, to be fair, Rosamund signed them in advance, and they were sitting on a cinema
Right.
seats. You know,
Right.
So, when we sat down, it was clear that there was no one going to sit next to us. The cinema wasn't full. So
Oh,
I
that's
took
a
the
bummer.
two from next to us. I think a lot of people from Amazon just didn't turn, like, you know, not crew, but
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
you know, execs and, you know, produce, you know,
Yeah.
whatever, that sort of people. They just didn't turn up. And there were a number of people that had, well, felt like no idea why they were there. Like,
I saw a couple of like posts on
Yeah.
like Blue Sky or Twitter or something where people were like, I'm at the screening. Should I read the books? Should I like
Yeah.
watch the series? And I was like, why are you there? How are you
Yeah.
there? I mean, that happens in LA all the time.
yeah, I feel like friends of Amazon people got tickets. You know, they were like, "Do you want to come?" Be like, "Yeah, okay, sure, why not? Yeah, I'll be there." And be like, "Oh, that was interesting."
And it wasn't
Mhm.
like it was a like quick get a ticket now, right? Like it was a
Yeah.
So
And it
some
sold
people
out
are
in like
just-
seconds, right?
yeah, and some
under-
people are
under
just like
60 seconds.
Amazon's doing a thing, I'm gonna go, even if they don't have any idea what it is. So
Yeah. Anyway, so I took the two next to us. I was like, "This is Lesbian Nerdy and Roger covered," and then I was like trying to find another one from seats clearly that weren't going to be taken. There was 2 rows for Amazon of cast and crew. And I'm looking further up, and I've chatted to other people. Someone who goes to WhatCon actually, whose name really eludes me, and I need to watch back my QCon stream to remember his name. And they only wanted one because they were on like basically it was their 25th wedding anniversary. It was a treat, you know, to
Oh,
go
yeah,
around
I
Europe
saw
and
them,
such.
yeah.
And it worked out, yeah. And they were like, "Well, I'm the fan, she's not, so we didn't want one poster anyway, so I have to spare." And that was for
Right.
someone who was, you know, trying to get in, no tie. And then she got in anyway, so she got a poster. It's like, great, never spare one. Then when we finished, like, we stood up, you know, a lot of people had zoomed straight out, including cast and crew. And I suddenly looked around the room. I was like, I wonder if any are left. Like, maybe I can get some extra posters. And they were just posters. There were loads of posters. They're like,
Yes.
half of them come from the cast line. half the
Right,
half the
because they
posters
probably
I have.
don't want them. Yeah.
Because they're like, I work with Rosamund. I don't need a signed poster.
Or
from
they feel
Rosamund.
like they shouldn't take it because they're like some
Yeah.
fans.
Yeah,
gonna
that
want
probably
it, you
very
know.
well
Yeah.
would be what it.
So
Yeah.
there was a few of us. There was Master of the Deck, myself, and Lonely Sky Shine were going around and scooping up posters, and
Nice.
Lonely Sky Shine gave me his posters as well. So
Aw.
it was. So I was just like, now I have posters for all my co-stars, and
Aw,
I
thank
have
you.
posters to put in auctions and a poster for myself, and we'll figure out how I get them to everybody. But yeah, so
Because
you get
actually, one of my
posters.
comments on social media this week was like, "All these posters, take my money. Where can I get one?"
You
There
well
you go.
consider it a thank you for all the cocktails you make us, Meg.
Thank
So,
you.
right.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So I just wanted to start off and be like, look what I got, but also I got one for you. So, so yeah, how are we feeling with the chaos and the hype? We won't talk about it just yet, but like, how was our squee factor? How's our hype factor?
It's very high, but also like I feel like I have to log into our document every day, otherwise I'll lose stuff to talk about. So I've been like constantly trying to update our document all week and make sure, okay, this is something we need to talk about, and this and this and this. So it's like a mix of hype and a mix of like, like it's just so much to keep track of.
That's
So,
amazing.
Welcome to the pressure of being a content creator, Meg.
yes.
Whereas
why
I'm like, whatever, content. I'm like, I'm just
Yeah.
hyped. It's great.
This is why I'm so bad sometimes of like sharing things or posting things or making things, because it's like, oh yeah, I do that, and then suddenly it's Thursday. I'm like, what was I gonna do? Oh yeah. Oh well, it's a bit late now, So
It's really funny because we talked about this a little bit like on our Discord chat, but I am normally not one to like read log lines ahead of time or to like I never watch the like next week on, which they don't do. I love that they don't actually do that on our show. They don't, do they?
Yes, I do.
they usually do it at the end of the first episode, don't they?
Yeah, then maybe I just don't. Okay, I clearly don't though. So I never
mean,
watch.
I
that
never
stuff.
watch them myself if they do put them on. I usually like, oh, it
I
ends.
always
stop.
watch them.
Yeah, I see. I never do, but it's funny because I was like, bring those log lines. Like as soon as they drop the like descriptions on Amazon Prime for the first 5, I was just like, I read them, and I've been enjoying the fact that like it's funny because after we have done such a deep dive on our podcast of like what's going to be where and how are they going to shake it up, now I'm like, oh, basically he's literally just like it's a straight translation of the book, which is amazing. Rob, your hair tie looks like a Shamael's ring.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
it totally
yeah.
does.
I've been fiddling with
Age
this.
of Legends ring.
Every
Yeah.
time I sit down at the table, I find a random hair tie because I have long hair. I find hair ties all over the house now. Apparently,
Yeah.
Welcome to long hair, Rob. I often just put it on my fingers, and I did think on Thursday night when I was doing Threefold Talk that hey, that's like a sling ring, as they call it.
Yeah.
So sorry.
No. Anyway, I sorry, I got distracted by it because when we were I was rewatching 207 and 208. I noticed that every man from the Age of Legends is wearing one. And
I wrote
we've
that in
seen-
my notes as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've seen Moggy wear it in the poster, and then we've seen because she doesn't have
Lanfear
one.
wears it too.
Lanfear has one, and she has one. Does Moggy have it? She doesn't have it at the end though.
No, at the end, she's just playing with her
doesn't.
little web of leaves, isn't she?
But her fingers are black there.
I guess I
They
didn't.
are.
I didn't
I
notice
did not
that this
notice
time
last
either.
time when I looked for it. Anyway, sorry. Well, I'm saving that for later in our podcast.
I mean,
but anyhow, my point
yeah.
is I'm obsessed with those rings, and I would like one now.
Amazon,
Merch,
right,
please.
merch.
Make that merch.
Like we will just throw money at you.
Yeah,
Don't
at
make,
the moment,
don't
I'm
make me stop boycotting you, but make me that ring.
Yeah, like, and I'm throwing money at bills, but why not? Let's throw it at merch instead. Like.
Yes,
That's right.
please.
Well, as I say, I'm glad to see your faces. It was an overloading weekend, but it was great, and then it's been like an interesting week back at work, and I was like, freewheeling on Saturday after a wonderful Threefold Talk on Thursday, and I'm like, I need that, and I'm gonna kick off the drinking segment with a little ASMR.
Nice.
So I think it's
Nice.
time, Jen, that we ask,
What's Meg drinking?
And there's no way I'm gonna get that lined up ever.
So I'm actually going to start
trying
with
to hesitate to watch the other one go.
We are.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Meg.
It's okay. I'm actually going to start with talking about the inspiration. So
Okay.
I happened to have a sage simple syrup, and I was trying to think of some way to incorporate it. And then like sage, 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 and I was like, sage advice came to mind, and I was like, who gives the best advice?
Debatable.
Sorelia.
Tam? If
This
for
is
Lini,
called Lini's sage advice.
Lini's sage
of
advice.
course. Duh. I mean, sorry, that took a minute.
I wanted to
I
see what
mean,
you guys would guess. So.
I don't know if she gives advice as much as just, slogans made from experience.
Lenny
I
sage
suppose
words.
Which is advice.
Yeah.
Which is, okay. Yeah.
I love it.
Unsolicited advice. But anyway, Lini's
Yes.
sage advice. I love it. Tell us about Lini's sage advice.
So the recipe is in a shaker with ice. Pour 2 ounces of gin, half an ounce of Amaro Nonino, 3/4 of an ounce of sage simple syrup, half an ounce of lemon juice, shake and then strain into a cocktail glass, and optional garnish with a sage leaf.
Nice. I have
Now-
to have you back up to the second ingredient because I do not know the words that you
I
just
was
said.
also going to ask that as like half an ounce of Ano and Uno or something like that. I don't even know
That's
what
what
it
I
was.
heard.
Amaro Nonino. So
This
it's,
podcast is
Ano and
brought to
Uno.
you by Amaro and
and I was going to see if I could actually
It's not.
tag him in the Instagram post. I was going to see if I could.
You should.
Amazing. You should. Why?
I know, I
Have you
really
not been
should.
doing it?
If yeah.
Have you not been
well,
tagging the other
I keep
cocktail companies?
forgetting, and then the last one I did, it didn't have anything like name brand
Specific.
in it.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, right.
But this is a product of Italy. I mean, it's just kind of like a Italian liqueur aperitif, maybe. Just I don't know. I was actually gonna look up the flavor profile, and I forgot to look it up beforehand. But,
Nice. Amaro Nonino. It sounds like, where's that from, Amaro Nonino? It sounds like it's from, is that from
It's,
Terrebonne? Is that
I don't
Tom
know.
Terrebonne?
Oh,
Yeah,
from
that sounds.
Terrebonne.
Yeah.
I thought you meant from
No.
actual Italy.
It's
No, I
what
know.
it sounds like something you would drink, like you would sip that on, I don't know, like maybe in a chilled glass, or maybe on ice, I don't know. But it sounds like sipping, liquor of some kind that you would perhaps drink whilst tanning in Tanchico.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, that feels
Sitting on
right.
the beach in
So it's like
Tanchico,
an
catching a tan.
herbal liqueur, I guess.
A
which,
herbal
like,
liqueur?
kinda-
Love that.
yes, which kind of goes with the sage. So
Well, good cocktail make. How have the socials been? Our little social sleuth.
I don't even know, man.
They've been busy.
Yeah, there's lots to talk about. So, Watt series posted that Clint Gordon is in season 3, Nicole Sherwin is in season 3, and she was the one that was saying that she was maybe Ruark's
wife.
wife.
Like she said I was your wifey or something like that.
And what's his other wife's name other than Amise?
Leanne. No.
Leanne. So I was
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
Leanne? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe she's
L-I-A-N,
her.
right? Leanne is the roof
Lian.
Lian.
Lian, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that fits.
So like all the posters, the 11-minute shredding, the episode titles actually have been released now, like all 8.
Oh, all 8 are out? Okay. I mean, we
Yes.
could kind of figure them out because we knew what 7 was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And based on that, there was only 2 options. And I think 8 being, it's eluding me now, 8 is, remind me again.
8 is He Who Comes to the Dawn.
He Who Comes to the Dawn,
Yes.
yeah. Like, once you put Golden
Mhm.
Eyes at 7, having He Who Comes to the Dawn as 6,
Yeah.
and
And
what
then
was the other
Shadow
one
of the
now?
Night is...
Shadow of the Night.
No,
I was like,
Shadow of the Night is 6, yeah.
yeah, like Shadow of the Night. When you look at those 2 titles, I think we could all guess that it's probably going to be He Who Comes to the
Yeah.
Dawn as 8
Yeah.
rather than 6. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like that was kind of
Which in the end, like on retrospect, like thinking about it, I've been like, oh, he's going to reveal himself, blah, blah, blah. We're going to have things keep going forward. But it truly is everything they're doing with the posters, with the marketing. It's Rand's story. Rand is taking over as main character, like fully. And so you kind of have to have He Who Comes with Dawn as the last episode. You just do.
yeah.
You do. I mean, we can still have pieces of the other things wrapping up, but you need that to be the last episode.
Are there thumbnails for the last 3 episodes?
No. So this
Okay.
was Maiden of the Spear Rita retweeted what Wiki of Time had said.
All right.
So again, it'll be number 1, Race to the Shadow, 2, Question of Crimson, 3, Seeds of Shadow, 4, Road to the Spear, 5, Tel'aran'rhiod, 6, Shadow in the Night, 7 Golden Eyes, and 8 He Who Comes with the Dawn. So
we were
It
so
makes
wrong
sense.
in our episode.
And
in
we were
our,
wrong with the we had the writers in the right lines, in the right place, but we had the episode titles.
yeah, so I figured what we'll do when the season actually starts is we'll go episode by episode. So we'll watch the episode, and then we'll like have our podcast about the episode, and then we'll kind of like score ourselves.
Yeah.
for
each
how we did.
episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's for people listening, let's talk about that. So obviously we're a bi-weekly podcast. But for the season, we thought it might be a lot to try and do 2 episodes every week, every 2 weeks. Especially considering the first week is 3 episodes, so that would be potentially, what was it? I think it was going to be, was it 4 episodes our first week, or 3 and then 4 and 5 and then 6 and
Right.
7 and then 8 a week late or something like that. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
So we will be doing. I'm gonna be a busy boy because we will be doing weekly recordings.
We will
also
try
be
that.
doing-
I mean, until we find out
But-
if we're killing you, and then we won't.
Well, here it is. I'm going to announce it in the next few days, hopefully. But I will be doing the 24-hour live stream with Matt at the Dusty Wheel. Where Matt, because I wasn't sure if he's going to do it with the midnight Pacific release, but Matt says he's going to do it. He's going to like pull off the first bit. So I was like, okay. So I think I'm going to take over about 5 or 6 hours in, so that
Okay.
Matt can get some sleep. I'm going to do, I think, about 11 hours. I think is what we're looking at, unless for some reason I have to start earlier. But I was like, I need to check out by 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, because Threefold Talk is not moving their live stream, our
Mhm.
live show this season, like we have done previously.
Oh, right. You don't have to because of the earlier
So we-
release.
Because the early release, we don't have to. So the girls are committed to, the ladies are committed to watching it that
Right.
day on Thursday, so that then we can do our show on Thursday night. So on specifically release day, I will be live. I think I worked it out from about midday or so my time, midday or 1 p.m. my time, through till midnight, and then I'll be off for a couple hours and back on with Threefold Talk for probably that first week of 3 or 4 hours again.
Mhm.
Well, if you
And
need a
then-
guest for that first 24 hours or whatever, I'm taking the day off work, so I'll be around.
Perfect.
So,
Yes, I will be writing schedule for that. And then regularly, and then obviously we'll record on Saturday. And then the regular thing will just be, I will record my reaction, release that, and go live around an hour after the episode drops, and maybe do my live stream with whoever can join me, and then have the rest of the day. Oh, then I will go to work, and I will do a 6-7 hour shift at work in the evening, and then I will come home, shower and refresh myself, and probably 2 hours later hop on a live stream and do it all over again with Threefold
Oh
Talk.
man.
And then I will get up on Friday, rest and recover, go work Saturday morning, and then come home and record with the two of you for a couple hours or whatever.
so it's just going to be a hot 72 hours for you.
It's going to be a very hot 72 hours for for those 6 weeks. Yeah,
I would say send. I was going to say send Rob Red Bull.
No, send me YouTube subscribers so I can earn enough money that I don't have to go to work.
Yes, let's do that. Yes.
Exactly.
We
But
are
Red
all
Bull's good in the
happy to
meantime.
be shills, Amazon, please.
Yes,
We are all
Amazon, pay me
happy
for
to be
this.
shills.
Do you know, I had a fun idea. They're not doing a premiere, although I have still got the time booked off in case they do one last second. I feel like if I don't hear by Monday, it's not happening, and then I can be
Mhm.
like, "Hey, boss, I can work a couple days." But I was like, just on the off chance, I'll keep the time off. But I thought, wouldn't it be brilliant if they did like a season finale view party, like fan party or something? I think that would be amazing.
Mm.
Oh yeah, we did that. We did that. We did that. They
Detroit
did
is
that.
available, just saying.
Yeah.
Come to
I was
Detroit.
gonna say they did that for Babylon 5, not Babylon 5. Jesus, that's the other thing. They did it for Battlestar Galactica one year, like an end of season watch party for the last episode of maybe season 5. Are there only 5? 4? Like at somebody's like place in Mount, and it was like like cast and crew was there, but also fans were there. It was really great.
Amazing. Yeah, I think that would just be brilliant. And let's do that in LA.
Yeah.
And I will host it this time because, you can't have someone from the home country hosting it. So fly me in.
That's just silly.
That's just silly. Fly me in, and Meg and Jen can be my co-hosts. And
Yeah,
we'll
because
do the party.
I can afford to fly to LA on a whim.
No,
Sure.
no,
Cheap
because
Fly
Amazon
Spirit.
will fly us.
Oh,
Amazon will
of
fly us
course.
all in.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
I'd
of
be like,
course.
I need my co-hosts. Like,
Or we say Fly Spirit, and we say this podcast is brought to you by Spirit Airlines. It's
yeah,
not.
it's not.
Uh,
no.
It's not.
But
But,
Spirit Airlines has got a pretty good track record right now compared to
I-
everybody else.
Hey,
Touche.
you're preaching to the choir. You know how much I love me some Spirit Airlines. I love Spirit Airlines. I do. I have their credit card. and all their points, and I have a gold.
She's like a
member
gold
status.
member.
Wow. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I love me some Spirit. But Maddie's here right now, Miss Social Media. Tell us so that like I know
Yes,
that
that's
there's
true.
no premiere, but Taylor's here and Maddie's here.
Mm-hmm.
I keep hoping we're going to see them on some late night talk shows or something, which actually leads me to another piece of information. So I was watching What Up, and apparently on Good Morning Britain, they showed a new clip.
Ooh.
Yes,
Yeah, they did. And I was gonna watch it, and I haven't seen it yet because I started to, and then I was like, "Wait, what is this? Am I getting spoiled to weird
It's
things?"
very short. I mean,
It's
maybe
extremely short. It does come from.
I don't even know if
episode
it's a
1.
minute. Yeah. Do you want to play it or?
I have it, but this is
Alright.
on Good Morning Britain. They're talking about the Oscars, so this was obviously earlier this week. And yeah, I'll play the clip.
Next up, this is definitely one for the fans, if you've been following it, okay? It's a fantasy series. It's called The Wheel of Time.
Right.
Just in case it's gone under your radar. And it returns to our screens next month. Now, the show, which amassed 1.16 billion hours of watch time in its debut week back in 2021. It's based on the book series, which has sold more than 90 million copies worldwide. It can be a little bit confusing, but luckily I know exactly what's going on, because I'm reading it now. In The Wheel of Time, it's a story that follows Rand as he learns he is the dragon reborn destined to save the world, or break it. The show stars Rosamund Pike as Moraine, a powerful Aes Sedai of the Blue Archer. Rosamund has spoken about the task of translating all of that on screen, just in case I've let you down this morning. It's no mean feat. Here you go.
And that's our job, to make these big statements, these dangers that don't relate to our world feel relatable. So I remember, in season 1, I had to say that the Dark One was starting to move Trollocs through the ways. Now, that is something that means nothing to people who don't know anything about the Wheel of Time, but the stakes have got to feel like, North Korea is making moves that they are going to deploy the atomic bomb.
So there you have it.
The Dark Ones are moving Trollocs through the ways.
I know.
Might hang on to that one.
I've had my fun up the Trossachs in Scotland, but I couldn't pick a Trolloc out of a lineup, could you? The stakes are high indeed. We have an exclusive look now from the first episode as Rand and his friends and allies reunite in the city of Farm. Moraine has a warning.
The city is not safe, obviously. I would ask you all to stay here. But I know you'll do as you wish. So please remember that the person shining your shoes will give your description to the South Harbour fishmonger, who in turn will speak quietly to the innkeeper at the Upriver Run, who is a woman who reports every suspicious newcomer directly to the Red Archer.
High drama indeed. The Wheel of Time Season 3 releases on Amazon Prime on the 13th of March.
It's
Okay,
not Falm,
sorry.
it's Tarvalon, but okay.
It is Tarvalon, yes.
It is my wait a minute, I'm like having a little bit of a little thing here because like I've been waiting to be like, where is everybody and what's Maureen talking to them and where is Elaine when she's talking to Rand and like why are they hiding and like when did the things happen? This explains it. This is a very large puzzle piece for me. This scene in particular, as short and small as it is, I love it.
And I love that she's like, and you're going to do what you want to do.
Yeah, right?
I know she's like, I like her giving up that control in a way. Like she's not really, but she is. And also that Bane and Chiad are there. And
Yeah.
like, that's awesome. Is this before Egwene and Elaine have gone through the ring? Like the arches? Like what?
Well, Rob knows, but he can't say.
I know.
Yeah, Amazon asked. So yes, folks, if you're not aware, I went to the London screening last weekend, and I have seen the whole of episode 1. Amazon asked us not to share what happens in the episode and to not share what happened in the Q&A. I'm presuming the Q&A bit, especially because they're going to play it at the Global Fan
Event.
on next week. I assume they're just going to replay that. There were cameras recording it, like, TV cameras.
Mhm.
So I presume that, that's what's going to happen. But yeah, like, we were asked not to share anything, and I was like, oh, I mean, that's tough, but okay. And actually, I don't think anyone has really shared anything. I don't think I've seen anything out there. People have been really good. So,
I mean, that is something our fandom is known for, is like, we do what we're told and
keep
we,
secrets for 10
and-
years.
That's not a
10
secret.
years.
That's a glory detail that he made up, and someone was like,
That
"Yeah, that
most of
fits."
us don't
Yeah,
believe.
yeah. Like, that moment.
Somebody
Jesus.
dropped a stupid. I'm sorry, I have to complain for 1 second. So with all of the stuff coming up, of course, people's numbers are like people's watch numbers are huge right now. Rob, you've been getting some massive watch numbers. It's really amazing.
I
It's
have
really,
been getting a lot of like the subscriber count has jumped up by like 100. It jumped up like 100 in like a week or something stupid, which is unheard of for me.
yeah, that's
I'm
awesome.
a very
That's
very small YouTube channel, so yeah, that's wild.
But I feel like people are taking advantage of that by like just clickbaity shit. And I came across like yesterday somebody posted a like Wheel of Time's author slams Amazon. And I'm like, A, he's dead. First of all, and rest in peace. And may the embrace of the mother.
I mean, the last
Um,
embrace of the mother.
the
welcome.
last embrace of the mother. Thank you. And so I was like, okay, obviously he's talking about Sanderson, but like to call Sanderson in this clickbait thing the author of Wheel of Time, and like he is, and then the guy is like, I think he wrote like some of the something in it. I don't know. He didn't even know. Like, and he was just like, and it was going all the way back to the thing that he said, like, granted a month and a half ago now or whatever, when he was just like, streamers have a problem with fantasy, like that whole thing that Sanderson did. But I
Yeah.
was like, why are you releasing that today? Like, obviously he's releasing it because everybody's looking up Wheel of Time right now. But I was
Right,
just,
yeah.
what I clearly need to punch things. I need to go find a gym that has a punching bag and get some gloves because
That's fair.
maybe I want to punch
There's always the tendency for whatever's hot and popular to get clickbaity titles.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I do understand
This
that.
will help, Jen.
Meg is waving sage around like she's some Native American.
Yes.
You know.
Thank you for cleansing my taint, Meg.
cleansing tribal chief or member. I don't know the appropriate phrase, so I apologize. But yeah, I do know that they use sage heavily for cleansing. So yeah, she's channeling that in this moment.
Yes.
Yeah, it is wild. Numbers are up on a lot of things. I feel like if you put the Wheel of Time in the title of a video or something, it just gets extra attention at the moment, which
bodes well for the green light of season 4, I hope.
it does. I really hope for that.
I just did a quick check, by the way. Nobody is on. There's nobody on the night show, late show circuit this week. Next week.
Okay.
It's post Oscars week, so I was like even surprised that it's as full as it is because sometimes they keep things a little open to bring in Oscar winners as needed. But right now, there's nothing Wheel of Time.
Right, that's fair.
Which is
I mean, I love you, Taylor, but I don't see Taylor being a high-profile guest the way like Maddie would be, for example.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you're looking for a guest from Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
Right.
But
so-
but the other thing is that this is, I mean, to say that, but then we have this Good Morning Britain thing, and Amazon has actually been aware of, I think I've mentioned this before, and I feel like this is also a saving grace and a good option for season 4, but they have been aware of the fact that it has such an international following.
Mm-hmm.
It's an American series. It's an American book series, but it's been translated into 39 languages or something. And so like, it does have they have fans globally. And I think that they're very aware of that. And so they're putting a little less into the American market and a little more into the
That's fair. Mm-hmm.
post market. And maybe they'll bring people in. Maybe if the first 2 get some numbers, they'll start setting up a little more in the marketing ways. But anyway, Taylor and Maddie are both here, so I'm still hoping that maybe there'll be some screening here. There was a screening here last time. It wasn't a premiere, but there was a fan screening here that I went to over at Amazon.
Well, speaking of screenings, did you know that after we did the fan screening on the Saturday, the cast and crew that were at the screening on Saturday got together on Sunday and watched the entire 8
Yes.
episodes.
I saved that in my photos, but I forgot to put it in the document. Yes.
That's no, like I knew about that before Rave posted the secret screening thing. Did he post that Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
before
it
he
was on
posted
Sunday.
something.
He posted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew about that on Saturday because I think Sarah Nakamura told me. So like,
So did they watch all 8 episodes in one sitting?
I don't know if at one sitting, but like they hired a private little screening space. They all got together and they watched all 8 episodes. So like,
you bring in snacks and
yeah, snacks and like comfy PJs or whatever, and I think they just chilled and watched it. And from what I understand, it was phenomenal.
Rob, you
I
didn't
don't-
dress up as a Trolloc and pretend you were part of the cast?
I mean, I should have tried that, Look, I'm not gonna lie. I hit up both Taylor and Remy Park and be like, hey, I'm in town tomorrow.
If you need a +1.
Yeah, I hear this. I hear, jealous you're at a screening. If if you want company, Funnily enough, Taylor didn't reply, and Remy replied to me on Monday instead. So, well after the opportunity of replying and being like, yeah, come join us. So. But yeah, they did watch all 8 episodes, which was just wild to me.
So I talked to a studio exec this week who said right now the thing the streamers really want to see, and this was specifically in a pitch for kids content, but they were like they want them to get through an entire season, because we also, in this particular pitch I'm talking about, like a limited season, like a 10 episode season. They were like they want to see them get through a whole season, and then they need to get them to repeat. And it's really hard with serialized content, because once you know the ending, do people really want to go back and watch it? And it goes back to my thing of 8 episodes or 10 episodes, like it's a doable rewatch. And I think obviously the fandom, like, we're gonna rewatch, but I think even it's interesting because David and I, we rewatch series years after the fact. If we're gonna go back and watch a series, he has watched both seasons. At least, I mean, aside from like picking and choosing little pieces here and there, he's watched both seasons straight through at least twice.
Wow.
And he's like I said, he's only in book 4. And so, yeah, I think that right now that's what streamers want to see, is people come back and watch again. So a shorter season works in that. I do think I do prefer a longer drop schedule as well. Like you guys said, I don't want to drop all 3 at once. It's over so fast. It makes me sad, but it does make it for easy rewatching. I did that. A League of Their Own. Amazon dropped A League of Their Own all in one go, and I binged it in one night, and then I watched it a second time that week with David. And it's not usually my favorite, but I did. I loved it.
Yeah, binging is. I like to binge older shows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to binge new shows. Like, I've just finished watching Yellowstone, and I would watch an episode a day, or an episode or 2 a day. Like, maybe on my day off, I would actually. I've worked out the key. I love on my day off. I love being able to do nothing, and that usually involves sitting on the couch and putting something on television or reading. Those are my go-tos. But I realized that I'm like, well, I'm not doing anything around the house. But I get sucked into watching things or reading, and suddenly 3 hours have gone by, and you're like, well, shit, now it's 4 o'clock and I've done nothing all day. So what I actually did was I realized, you know what? If I get up and go do the dishes and take my phone with me, I can play it on my phone while I'm doing the dishes, and I can still watch and I'm doing a task. So on days like that, I might watch 5 or 6 episodes because I've been doing stuff all day and watching. But on like work days, I'll come home and watch an episode. And it took me like a month to watch all 5 seasons of Yellowstone. Which, some crazy fucking people in that show. My God, what is going on with that family? If you've watched it, you know what I'm talking about and who I'm talking about. But otherwise, like, whew.
Megan is not a fan of the Western.
I think that's because
Mom and Dad used to
well,
make
both
the
of them.
Mom,
They were just obsessed with Westerns, and I hate John Wayne so much.
I kind of get where you're coming from. My grandfather watched a lot of Westerns. But I don't know. There's something great about them still.
No, I'm sure it's like something I would probably like. Yeah,
I love a Western, and I have not watched Yellowstone, but it's in part because
Yellowstone would be a very modern Western.
Yeah,
but hold on to your hats like that. It's like someone took pure trauma and then carved people out of it. There's some messed up people in that show. I was like, honestly, it's the side characters that do it for me. The secondary characters and things. I'm just like, the main characters, you can all just Anyway, back to Wheel of Time.
Back to Wheel of Time. Back to Wheel of Time, yes. But I did. Okay, speaking of knowing people, and I'm not trying to name drop. Hang on, Meg. But I just watched an interview last night with Daniel Henney. It's the one from it's Black Girl Nerds when they interviewed Daniel Henney.
Oh, it's so good, right? That one. I love that one.
So good.
That one.
And they're talking about diversity, and they're talking about diversity in casting. And then I've just been waiting for confirmation of this, and I figured it all along. But then he was like, blah blah blah. I was really excited about Cowboy Bebop because my friend John Cho was in it, and I was like, John Cho's my friend too, Daniel Henney.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I know.
Oh my god!
I know.
We're here. We're here.
I've been figuring
we're here.
that has
2
to be
degrees of
real.
separation. Oh my god!
Well, 3
Okay,
for you and
okay.
me, Meg.
Yes.
Oh, wait, is it?
But like
wait, is
Michigan,
it 1
so
for you,
you
Jen?
can connect.
Yeah, I know. What?
What?
Is it 1 for you, Jen? 1 degree of separation.
1 degree of
You're
separation.
1
I mean,
person apart.
Yeah, so 2 for me.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
Us, Megan. Us.
Us, 2
yes,
for us.
both of you. Yes. Yes. So
This is our
anyway.
audiogram clip, by the way,
Yeah.
with me freaking out.
Mhm,
Okay, so we need to make this happen.
mhm.
And
Well, I mean, not to put it, not to name drop Meg, but you've kind of had 2 degrees of separation for a while because I know Taylor and I know Guy
That's
and
true.
I know Jessica.
again, I know no one.
It's not true. You have. Oh wait, you haven't. Have you met John?
No,
Joe? You haven't. Oh.
no. I know no one.
Well, one day we'll
And
get
you've
you
Michael
introduced to
Ealy in your
Maddie.
neighborhood, and he is hot as hell, and I have yet to meet him either. So
Ah, wait, where's Mr. Moz? Like, just make sure he's not listening right now.
he's
while we're-
upstairs.
Right.
He's okay. And he knows he's hot, so it's okay.
That's what he knows. He's hot. He knows he's the hottest.
I love that.
That's true.
All right, but yeah, back to Wheel of Time.
Okay. Yeah, just like I was trying to pick up like some potential interview things. So on Takaran Riyadh, they had a question for Rafe. What proper costume was difficult to work with? And Rafe said an Age of Legends artifact that a Forsaken wields.
Yeah, no idea what that is, honestly.
Like,
Sling
do we
ring.
think that's
Sorry.
actually
Kidding.
no, like that like a
Kidding.
prop that's difficult. So I'm thinking like size, something. So that's why I was thinking, are we actually getting the Chodan call and not the access keys? Or are the access keys called the Chodan call? The Chodan call are the big ones, and then they just
The
call the
Chodan call are
access
the
keys
big
the
ones.
little guys.
The access
yeah, and the
keys are
little
the
ones are the
access
access
keys.
keys. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. But some artifact from the Age of Legends, was what he said.
Maybe the sad bracelets are really difficult to put on and off.
That's true. Oh, but that's not from the Age of Legends. That's from after the Age of Legends, which I
Is
just
it?
discovered
Okay.
last night when
Yes,
Mogideon
because
explains that
that's-
to Nynaeve.
It was a Hawkwing,
Ah.
right?
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Commissioned.
I-
Well, I
we
guess
don't-
he
she
didn't
didn't-
commission it, but it was the Aes Sedai
Well, he
that
commissioned the
made them
Adam, but
for-
yeah, but that's she doesn't say it's Harkwing. I mean, he did the Adam, so it's probably at post that, yes. But
Mhm.
Mogideon says it's from after she was sealed.
Ah, interesting.
She said this came about from after I was sealed, but I immediately, as soon as I got out, I started looking for shit. That's what she says, like that.
Okay, so
in
that
those
was
words.
one thing. Ayula said we are going to get to see her home, so I feel like that confirms Cold
Mhm.
Rock's hold. Dragonmount said Rafe said we will get a new Shadow Spawn this season, which I would assume is Darkhound.
I don't think so. I think it's Greyman.
But that's so boring.
Yeah, it is, and cheap.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what I said in the Tucker.
Dark Hounds are going to cost a lot of money to make.
Yeah, Gray men are cheap because they're
Anything
just
else?
boring. What Siri said? Wait, what? Oh, that means they're in episode 1.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait a minute. Let's think this.
For the
Wait,
ears
wait, hang on,
listening, for the
hang on,
ears
hang on.
listening,
Rob's covering
For
his
the-
mouth and trying
for
not
the-
to do anything.
Rob just like put his hands in front of his face and like is trying to not.
Okay.
anything away.
Okay. So this means that in Tarvalon, so it is gray men because we get the gray men in Tarvalon trying to kill the
Rob's
Dark.
Don't know
working
what-
Yeah.
so
I
hard.
don't know what you're
Yes.
talking about.
Okay.
Bravo Sips.
Ooh. Okay. Okay, I'll keep going because there's so much to talk about, and we still have 2
I know,
episodes
right?
to talk about.
And
Okay,
we still haven't
okay.
talked about the 2
Oh my
episodes,
god,
yeah.
I know,
Okay.
and we're an
All right.
hour in.
Okay. What series in what series interview Rafe said for Matt, we see the fight with Galad and Gowan. We start to understand the memories that are in his head, Matt's head, the Horn of Valir. It gives him access to these past lives and what happened in them. And so to start to see that his memories are coming from that huge event that the audience has really seen and understood, it gives us a real grounding for the other things that are happening to him and how we understand them. And you'll see. I can't speak to all the details of it because you'll see how it feathers out to the rest of the season.
Rob,
There was a lot
again.
of things. Okay, so yeah, Rob's just staring at us, not Like it looks like he's frozen
He
right
looks
now.
like he's frozen. You're not frozen.
I'm not frozen.
You did a really good
Well, and
impression of frozen.
I heard
though.
something about him definitely speaking old tongue in one of the interviews.
I have not watched a lot of the interviews actually, so I don't know. This is not me complaining. So if it comes across like that, I do apologize. It's not my intention. But I struggle, and I understand the reason behind it, but I struggle to find engagement with a 4-minute interview with two people.
For sure.
I
You know?
agree.
Yeah,
It's really common
It's a tough
now.
sell. It's so common. Yeah, Zoom really like opened up the access to press junkets,
Yes.
but also then sped them up, I suppose. And it's now
Yeah.
it's a numbers game, and it's just like, oh, you know.
And while I want every content creator that we know to get that 4 minutes and to have the option to interview them, which is wonderful, I also David did a press junket before his show dropped in the fall, and his was very similar. And he was like, he's done press before, but he was just sort of like, this is so weird because nobody gets to ask more than one question, which means everybody asks the same question.
That was
And
what I was
like-
going to say. It's a very surface level question that probably a majority of the people are asking. And so you're getting
Yeah.
the same interview 20
And
times.
they get
or 100
tired.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they get pat in their answers, and then like you watch the content of it, and it's like, well, now I'm seeing the same form. It feels like you're seeing the same 4 minutes over and over again. It's
Yeah,
really
right.
tough. It's really tough. It made him feel better that what he felt like was a weird press junket and like not very important, because he feels like, well, I don't know, is anybody watching my show yet? Blah blah blah. I was like, he's like, oh, it's the same as Wheel of Time. Okay, good.
Good. I'm
Yeah.
glad that it made you feel that way. That, you know, it's just,
Yeah.
For me, I found the way. I didn't watch Dusty's yet. I suppose I have to catch up on that. But I did watch the Talkies video all the way through, and I have watched a few, like the Nerds one that we mentioned earlier.
The Nerdist.
Black girl
Sorry?
Nerds.
Black Girl Nerds.
right.
Thank you. That was
Sorry,
it. Yes. I did watch that one yesterday, and I watched a couple others, like small bits here and there. But I've probably watched all those combined 4 different content creators, both known and unknown to me, and you know, not even all of the interviews they did, because I'm just like, you're getting 1 or 2 questions, and
Mhm.
and you know, then it's like, okay, thank you so much for talking to me, goodbye. And I'm just like, what's, you know, you have to ask the right questions to get the good tidbits out of it.
And it's just overwhelming for us to try to get information from any of it because there are so many. And
Mhm.
again, probably 80% of them are almost the same.
Yeah.
Or not like worthwhile, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're questions that are, you know, it's just tough to get good answers, because you don't want to ask too over the top a question.
Yeah.
You want to ask a question that, you know, will potentially allow you to ask a second question.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got 2 minutes per person. By the time you spend a minute asking a question, you've got 3 minutes, so you've got 90 seconds per person. Like, how are you getting
Mhm.
more than one question out of anybody? It's
Yeah.
it's really, really tough. And I understand the purpose and the reason for doing so many and being so short with them, but it for me personally, I find it struggling to engage with,
Mm-hmm.
you know, press junkets and such.
Mm-hmm.
So while I'm bummed I didn't get invited and we didn't get invited, I'm also like, I would have found that tough afterwards as well. I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
anyway.
I also think the interviewers are so on that tough schedule that they're just like,
They
they're
are.
like, I have only such a couple seconds. If it's a group like Talkies where they have 3 people, they want to get everybody gets a chance to speak, you know, to ask a question. And then,
Yeah.
and so like, there isn't even time to engage with the answer, because you're like, I've only got 4 minutes for 2 people
Right.
to ask you these many questions, so that you're just like, okay, cool, next question. No fault of any of the interviewers. It's just like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
it doesn't create
You
a
want to
great-
follow up on some of these questions.
Yeah. You
sometimes,
don't get a
know,
chance to
yeah.
follow up. There's no space to. It's not fair.
Prime example of that, I watched, and I knew about this when Kathy did it because I hit her up about the press junkets, but, you know, obviously I didn't want to share it because embargoed and stuff like that. But she said to me, she did ask Ray for second question. I think she was one-on-one with Ray, actually. And she's like, okay, my last question is like, what question is there out there that you wish people would ask you that you really want to give the answer to? And he's just like, I really wish people would just ask me how many Forsaken are in season 3 and when we're going to see them. And Kathy's like, and that's my time. I can't believe I wish that wasn't my last question. You know, but it was also like, she would have to have asked that question first to then
right.
ask the follow-up, or
Yeah.
been like, you know, ask that question and included in it. And what would your answer to that question be?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like, yeah, you just want to follow up. And there's an example where she's like, oh, she absolutely would have followed up with that question if she had the time. but
Exactly.
did not have the time. So again, not complaining. I love that we get the press junkets. I love that content creators get invited to do it. It's just, for me personally, I find it a struggle to go and watch, according to Hybrick Havoc, 67 of them.
Sorry to interrupt, but breaking news, literally right now. So go to the Wheel of Time page.
Okay.
They said, thank you to all who joined us in London for a screening of season 3, episode 1. RSVP to the digital fan event next Saturday to catch the Q&A and more. And it's got a little video attached from the fan screening.
Wait.
So I don't.
Yeah, there's actually a video.
That's what I'm saying. Breaking news, literally right now.
When did they film
the
go
to the Wheel of Time page? Which page? Their YouTube or their?
Sorry, I'm on X. I'm sure it's on.
It'll
Insta.
be on their Instagram. Wait a minute, I've got to be in that video somewhere. I see Omar. Oh, I see Ashrakova. Oh, I didn't know they were interviewing people. I absolutely would have gone and stood in that and answered.
I knew they were interviewing people, and I wasn't even there.
No, I mean fans afterwards.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But you didn't know that until at the moment, right?
No, I didn't know that in the moment, no.
I think because I was hearing about it afterwards or whatever.
Yeah, you don't see me in this at all now that I'm looking through it.
No.
Which is fine because I did my own video, so it's okay.
Okay. While you were maybe waiting for that to post to Instagram, one thing I did want to say is the Nerdist articles seem to kind of have a lot of good little nuggets.
Okay.
And I think it was because Amy Ratcliffe did the interview and she's a fan as well. So Rafe talked about we have a really clear plan for the Stone of Tyr, and it's something that if we're lucky enough to continue the show, you'll see how it plays out, but it's not been forgotten. A lot of people are assuming that means season 4. I don't think that necessarily means season 4. I just think it means if we get to continue, their plan is to go there at some point.
You mean you don't think that the Stone of Tyr will be in season 4 necessarily?
Correct. Yeah.
That. I agree.
Yeah, because I heard some people saying, "Oh, that confirms Stone of Tyr season 4," which I don't think it does. Yeah. He said you get a lot of dialogue about it this season. You hear the word Kalandor in season 3. The Tanchiko storyline is basically a sitcom, which I'm so excited for. And we know there are a couple of things Matt, does in the Aiel storyline that are important. It doesn't mean he won't do those things. People singing and musical episodes. And then I did get a tidbit from John on What Up about someone other than Donal who sings. Do you want me to say who that is?
Sure. I mean, wait, Jen, do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
It's Kira, which makes me think we're gonna get the scene where she
drunk?
gets hammered, and then she's gonna pull on Tom's mustaches or whatever. I mean, I know he doesn't have mustaches, but something equivalent. So,
it is an Instagram reel, by the way.
Okay.
It's just posting to my story.
Do we want to play it?
Basically,
no, that's okay.
Basically, they just say thanks for coming.
Oh, it's at the end of their reels. Yeah. I see it. I see it.
So that's basically what it is. And wait, actually, the London conversation just popped up, and Ashrakova got tagged in it.
Oh, nice. Wait, okay, so I have a question. Does that mean they're going to show that first on Saturday next week, and then show the screening after, or will they show the screening first and then continue on with that? Do we know?
I think they will play it after the episode.
The same way you
guys because there's probably spoilers somewhat to
about
episode 1 in the Q&A.
Trying to think about the answers, because not really in the questions, but in the answers. Yeah, they did reference a couple of things we'd seen on the screen. So not direct, not in detail, but
but enough where
when you've just watched something, you can reference that moment with whatever character. You'd be like, oh yeah, of course, that we've just watched. So they wouldn't make sense. I suppose if they played that first. Fun side note about the singing. Someone was posting on Blue Sky about the musical episode, as they were calling it and such. And I posted a reply to it, an asterisk, and I just said, sits in the comments, drinking his drink or something like that, Yeah. And someone's Salia's like, Rob, what do you know? How many episodes have you seen? And I was like, I've seen many episodes of many things. And then she goes,
such an Aes Sedai answer.
I know. And then she's like, how many episodes of The Wheel of Time season 3 have you seen specifically? I was like, who can say? And she's like, you can say. I need to actually go find this now because I'll read the whole thing to you because I wanted to Aes Sedai the shit out of it the whole time, and I was just like, I need to make sure I get this right. So let me go to my Blue Sky account.
Okay, while you're clicking, I'm gonna keep talking about news. I do like Rafe's answer about Matt being pulled from the waist because he said he would kind of get lost in the background behind Rand, Egwene, and Moraine.
I mean, he gets really important things happen, but he's a hanger-on otherwise.
Right, but like, and everybody's been upset that Matt hasn't had much to do in the first 2 seasons, so I think it was important to make sure he's at the center of whatever storyline he's at. Let me know when you're ready because I'll just keep going because we're trying.
I'm ready.
You ready? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, how many episodes specifically? And it's like an exact number. Who can say it? It's like you can say. And so I was like, how do I answer this in an Aes Sedai way without actually saying how many episodes I've actually seen? And so I replied, "Are you concerned Matt might sing in more than one episode?" ? And then she replied, "Concern is not what I'm feeling." And then I was like, okay, I feel like I can leave it here because I've sort of like, oh no. Then I added more, and I was like, "You'll feel lots, I'm sure." And Elonwe and Salia both just replied with the eyes emoji. And I was like, okay, I feel like I've left this. I've led them away from asking me questions now that I can stop replying to the threads without it being like, well, I'm just not answering because I'm trying to avoid things. So it was very fun for that because I did, and I did apologize to Melindra for this. I did actually have to lie at the London screening to friends about something, and that was about Loneliest Skyshine.
Oh, well, of course, because that's not your secret to share.
Yeah, but rather than Aes Sedai my way around it, which I couldn't think of in the heartbeat when Mel directly asked me about it, I actually lied about it, and I was like, no, it's not the Tweederick House. When I could have Aes Sedai'd my way around it, and she would have known that I just couldn't share the secrets, and she would have been like, okay, well, I'm thinking this. So yeah, I did apologize.
You have toes.
I have to. So, but yeah, that was a fun reveal as well at the weekend.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was going to do that, and then he did it. And I was like, "You fucking bastard, love you." So, but yeah. Anything else from the socials? We are an hour into recording. We have about 45 minutes left.
Episode 4, Yosha said was the most fun he's ever had on set ever, playing 7 different characters. And then let's see. So on What Up, Daniel said something about multiple fights happening simultaneously, switching back and forth. So that makes me wonder if somehow we're gonna get Shido / Two Rivers / Tanchico, all kind of intermingling.
I think we will.
And then would that be episode 7? I mean, because Golden Eyes is Battle of the Two Rivers.
Is it?
Yes.
It is, yes.
Well, yeah.
Sorry,
well, I mean, I guess we assume that it is, but...
No, there's no assumption it is. Rafe was,
for sure.
It is, it's pretty much exclusively the Two Rivers battle.
So maybe those wouldn't be...
But I can't think they're going to completely wrap the battle up before the last episode.
Yes. No, they are, because Rafe, in one of the interviews, Rafe said, we basically given you 2 finales back-to-back for episode 7 and 8. Because we couldn't, Perrin's story and the Two Rivers story needed a finale-style episode to wrap it up. Yeah. But we also needed a season finale episode. And, so we just did both.
Okay. All right.
Episodes 7 and 8 are finale episodes. And episode 1 kicks off like it's a finale episode. So, yeah. Okay. Make of that what you will.
So that's about it, I think. Other than, we could talk about posters or whatever. There's so many things we could talk about, but I think that's the majority of it.
I'm glad I asked about hard outs earlier, because otherwise we'd be here being like, well, now let's talk about the episode. Not know that basically Jen's got to disappear in 45 minutes.
Yes.
So
we can skip bingo cards if you want, because we were going to talk bingo cards.
Oh,
so I skip bingo cards.
I could just give you a brief overview. By a stretch, if I hadn't changed one of mine last second at the request of someone, I would potentially, at a big stretch, had a bingo across the middle, but only if you count the Wolf Dreams Teleron, which technically it is, but we didn't actually see Wolf Dream stuff. So, and that was with my first bingo, not the remake. So
I would have technically had a bingo if I hadn't at the last second added being thrown. So I put spears on mine as one of my things. Mine were all really a little specific. They were very specific, like 2 characters together, not just random 1 characters. But I would have had, if I had just put spears on there, I would have had it. But I said spears, and then I added being thrown.
Being thrown. Right.
We didn't see any actual throwing of the spears.
Never mind.
So,
Okay.
yes.
But we do see throwing of spears in episode, 208, but in the last 2 episodes of season 2, which, folks, we have finally gotten to. We started doing this like 6 months ago, and then we started being like, oh, we can talk about this week or that this week or whatever. And then Meg quite rightly was like, guys, if we don't start doing all the episodes right now and 2 per week, 2 per recording, sorry, we will not get done before the
It's
TV
very
show
on
comes
brand
out.
for me
Yes.
to feel the
Yes.
deadline.
Yes.
Thank you, Megan.
So here
Thank
we
you,
are,
Meg.
12 days out from release, 7 days out from global fan events.
It
Finally
really makes us
talking
feel
about-
like procrastinators, doesn't it?
It does.
No,
but
we planned it. We were planning. We had like looked
Yeah.
at the schedule, and we were like, "This is when we need to get the things to do the things."
Yeah,
I
there we
know,
go.
but
That
this is
works.
right up to the.
I mean, look, a win is a win by a minute or a mile, even if you get it out just the day before. So, let's be honest. We only have, we have only done
7 days and only done what?
this. This is only our 24th episode,
That's
which also
Aw.
means wait. Also means we've
It means
been
our
doing
25th.
this. No, this is our 24th.
Okay.
So, which means we will have been doing this, well, more than a year, but we will have done a year's worth of episodes when we start the episode
Season
4
3.
reaction.
season 3.
Season 3 will be episode 25.
Oh, season 3, episode 4. Got you.
Yes. Season 3, episode 4. Unless we decide to do, and here we are procrastinating again, unless we decide to do a fun, extra, spur-of-the-moment recording after you have both watched episode 1, and then our first recording would be the weekend of the first 3 episodes released.
Right.
So, anyway,
Okay.
digressing.
Aw.
Episodes 207 and 208, I do not have the information down for them, written by beautiful people who are very skilled and directed by equally skilled person. What did we think of them while I find that information?
Well, it's Justine Jewel Gilmer was the director.
No,
of
writer.
Rio-
Right, yeah,
Okay,
she's a
sorry.
writer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, writer.
So, do you have the info, Jen?
No. Well, I
Jen
know
just knows this.
Justine wrote 7, and 8 was written by Rafe and a guy whose name I've already forgotten. I can't believe it. Rafe co-wrote the episode 8, and Justine wrote 7.
Okay. Episode 7, 207 is called Deus Damar. Okay. It is directed by Sana Hamri, written
Thank
by
you,
Justin
and
Joe
Sana
Gilmer,
directed.
and obviously Rafe Judkins assisting. And then 208, What Was Meant to Be. Okay, and that was obviously still directed by Sana Hamri, written by Rafe Judkins.
And they don't list the second name there?
Tim Earl.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Timothy Earl. Mm-hmm.
Timothy Earl. Also, weirdly enough, on IMDb, it lists Robert Jordan as the first writer, then Rafe, and then Tim.
Yeah, IMDb does that because it's like it's just listed as like.
But it didn't do
based
that
on
for 7.
material by. I know, and
So,
it's like,
yeah,
but if you go
weirdly,
into the
yeah.
IMDb is a pain in the butt. You have to update it all the time and fix it.
Yeah,
It's
episode 7, it
algorithmed
went
out.
Justine, Rafe, Robert Jordan.
And Rafe actually doesn't have a writing credit on that episode. He's like, created by, and so then it like listed under the writing category.
IMDb,
Anyway, sorry.
you're weird.
You're weird and you're a pain in
Yeah.
my butt, but thank you for being there.
I want to start off by saying I haven't watched these episodes in quite some time now, and I got chills watching so many moments in these 2 episodes. I didn't think I would get emotional watching Hopper die, or I didn't think I would
I
get
did too.
full body goosebumps watching Matt realizing that he is he's a hero of the Horn or whatever. I didn't think that. Yeah, there were so many things. I was just like, what is going on here? Why is this giving me so many chills still? Like, why am I...
Well, and Rob, I want to
Yeah.
ask you too. So, which I felt this way. So I remember after 206 being so brutal, but just like a really good episode of television.
Right.
I think you and I both had felt kind of let down by 207 originally. And this time around, I enjoyed 207 this time around.
Yeah. Yeah, 207 was, I think, there's a lot of, I didn't, and I can understand it now, but I remember when I watched it initially, the whole, I need help, get me out of the Amelin's clutches, Lanfear, She's like, okay, goes and blows up the 4 gates. You know,
So
I
funny.
remember watching it initially. I'm just like, I know the innkeeper's over there salivating because, you know, it's his obsession on screen being a badass. And she is being a badass. Full credit to Natasha and the way she played that.
yeah.
But for me, I'm just like, you've spent all this time hiding. You spent all this time role-playing as Celine. You've done so much to not reveal yourself. And now you're like, okay, I'll just go blow up the 4 gate in full Forsaken gear, not hiding what I look like, who I am, who's channeling, whatever, very blatantly blowing the shit out of everything, when there's 14 Aes Sedai in the city, you know, and there's witnesses everywhere.
And in the next episode, we get a hint that maybe she travels when they're in the waves.
Yeah.
I don't think you can travel in and out of the waves, so I'm not quite exactly sure, but like she does
She
something.
did travel.
When they're in the
I
waves.
looked at
She
it
travels.
closely. Yeah,
Yeah,
she travels.
Well, but like,
it
book
matches
canon,
what
I don't know if
Megideon
you can
does.
travel.
Yeah,
Right, book
it
canon,
matches
but-
what Megideon does at the end of the
Yeah.
finale.
Exactly. And on top of that, I had forgotten that it doesn't matter that she blows up the 4 gate because Varen gets him out. Like, it's not even. It doesn't.
No,
even...
she's doing it as a distraction to get all the Aes Sedai away, and then Varen can release. But how does Varen know to go and release?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, she
You know?
blows up.
Spoilers,
the Sun
spoilers, 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 spoilers.
Yes,
We haven't
spoilers.
spoiled
Thank you.
Varen
But
knows
I
to go
just-
release for a reason.
Oh,
Well,
right, that's
Varen-
why you were saying
yes.
spoilers. Okay, I was like, wait, what did we say that was a spoiler?
but it is interesting because I think that I don't necessarily agree with that, Meg, even because I've thought about that at the time, and I was like, I don't know. I think it's just Varen being Varen, but in any case, it is a distraction. But I think I feel like she's blowing up the walls of the Sun Palace. She's on her way in. Like, she gonna show up and be like, "Where the fuck are you? I literally just blew up this entire town for you, asshole." I don't know.
I really kind of wish we could have seen that.
That would have been great. Yeah, so I think there was a lot of me not liking that at the time. And there was, I seem to remember when season 2 was out, there was, and I was definitely one of the ones not on this train. But there was this huge train of like, loving Lanfear, love Lanfear, love Lanfear, love Lanfear, Lanfear's the best, Lanfear's this, Lanfear this. And I was just like, Natasha's great. And Lanfear's, you know, she's a stellar character in the TV show. Like, there was a bit like Crazy Psycho X, you know, with magic powers vibe in the book initially. You know, she sort of like, as Robert Jordan got, you know, further along the story, she got a bit more depth and a bit less crazy ex-girlfriend vibe, you know, and it made her a better character overall.
Sure.
Natasha's, you know, and what Rafe and the writers are doing is you know, a lot less of that and a lot more of, you know, her being secure in who she is in her own right sort of thing. But, you know, there was, I was just like, yeah, I think I focused so much on this feels weird for Forsaken to do so publicly.
Yeah.
It not tainted the episode for me, but like it drew the focus of the
It
episode.
was jarring.
Sure.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
watching
On
it
the other
back,
hand,
I'm just
yeah.
like, I
It's
don't
just
care
fun
so
and
much
good and
about it now.
exciting.
Yeah.
It
It's
is
action
fun.
in a scene, fine. And then I'm like, now I can focus more on Matt with the freaky tea. You know, which is obviously that's episode 8, but you know, because I enjoyed episode 7 more, it just kind of fed in.
Yeah.
I'm less obsessed with Varen and, you know, her saving of Rand. Was very obsessed with that initially because I was like, I feel like you pushed the boundary too much here.
I listened again and I was like, oh no, she's like absolutely nothing she says is untrue. Nothing.
Such on the line.
It
so
is, but
kudos.
last time I was like, I feel like she might have stepped a toe over. Like, did she? Could she? And then
I did think that initially, yeah.
Yeah, but this time I was like, oh no, she barely says any. She says like 7 words.
Mhm.
You know, it's
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
very
almost
well done.
nothing. It's nothing.
But
Yeah,
I could
the Amaro
appreciate
needs
the stuff
you.
with
True.
Yeah. I could appreciate the stuff with Lan and Rand so much more. Yeah, just it all. I appreciate the episode more as a whole because I was watching it without the constant fandom going Lanfear, 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 you know, like yeah, and that is not our soundbite for this week. I love you,
That is a good
Innkeeper. I
soundbite.
feel like I'm just bagging on your love now.
What did he
you
call
know.
himself? It was
Lanfear's
Lanfear's
advocate.
advocate.
Or something? Yeah,
Yeah.
advocate or something.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you
Yeah.
don't need to advocate for the woman. We know you're obsessed.
Yes.
You know.
So Jen, what were your thoughts? Yeah.
On 7, it's funny. I had more thoughts on 7 than on 8. first of all, I remember knowing this at the time too, but like the cold open of Swan and Maureen,
Oh,
Mm.
yeah.
it just destroyed me. And I happened to watch it this time right after I had seen one of Sophie's interviews where they were like, what did you think about like when you got the script or whatever? And she was like, oh, I just took this job because Rosamund asked me to, and I just so adore her, and I wanted to do this because Rosamund said I should do it. And then I was like, it's amazing. But she was like, it
I
was all
missed
about
that one.
Rosamund. It's so
Mm.
sweet. I can't remember which one it
Yeah.
was. It's so adorable. She says it with such love, and I was like, oh my God, they love each other. And then I watched that cold open like the next day, and I was like,
And then
Yeah.
the bookend at the end with the flat, like as they're
The
like
bookend at the end.
saying goodbye to each other, but then it
Yeah.
flashbacks to when they're happy. And it's like,
It
I know,
is
and it's the first
heart-wrenching.
time we've used. Well, no, that's not true. We used flashbacks in season 1, episode 7, when Rand sees the flashbacks of or hears his dad talking in the woods.
Yes.
in the woods.
And also the cold open to episode 8 being an old
Yeah.
an Age of Legend flashback in the Old Tongue
Yep.
matches
Yep.
an Age of Legend
Yep,
flashback
yep,
in the
yep.
Old Tongue for season 1 in episode 8.
Yep.
Mhm.
But the like
Which-
the current
yeah.
like the flashback to something that we actually flashback in episode 7. I'm writing that down to like pay attention this
Well,
time.
so yeah, so the cold open in episode 7 for both season 1 and season 2 refers back to the blood snow. And then
Yeah.
at the end of the episode, you have the flashbacks to something that's
About the blood snow.
Well, I mean, no. So like at the end of 107, it's Rand flashing back to his dad. You know,
but Tam's
in his
talking
fever
about the
dream
blood
and
snow.
whatever. Right.
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
what I mean.
in 207, it's going back to when they were happy. And
Yeah. Liana. I'm a little bit obsessed with Jen. I'm a little obsessed
Oh
with.
my god!
I'm a little obsessed with Jen. And
Jen Squared,
she-
is that what we're on now?
Yeah. But when she says,
she's just Jen. Just Ken.
Jen.
Just Jen.
just Jen. But there's something that, what did I write? She says something. Oh, damn it. I just wrote Liana, ha ha ha. Damn it. What did I don't even know what I meant. Shit. But then there's the
Was
moment
it,
when she's with.
Don't let her near you.
Yes,
That
maybe.
she says to Varen.
I don't know. I don't even know. I just said ha ha ha. I'm gonna have to go back and figure out what it was. But I'm obsessed with anything she does. All she has to do is like stand there, and I'm just like, just stand there. I love you.
Seriously.
I
all
feel like
she
she
has to
does
do
that a
is
lot so
walk.
often, you know.
She does.
Yeah.
She does, and just like a raise of an eyebrow, and like it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
As opposed to what
but-
she does in the shredding, which is like remove someone's eyebrow by removing their skull with the
Beating it
Exactly.
off of her.
beating them off their face. Yeah, like
Exactly.
so
Oh, I know.
brutal.
Oh, it was when like she leaves and she's like, leave me alone. She can't hurt me, daughter. And she kind of just raises I know. She walks out. That's it. She can't hurt me, daughter. And like Liana walks out to leave Maureen alone with the Amerlin. And she just shakes her head. No, like I don't, this stupid. It's so great. It's so great. But then Swan says, this was new for me that I just like cut. She was like, 6 months of letters. I know I've seen it before a million times, but 6 months of letters and you never mentioned that you were stilled. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they've actually been corresponding the whole time, not just this
Yeah.
one letter at the end. And I was
I
like,
missed that until this time as well, actually. Yeah.
yeah. I thought that was like, I was like, oh, that's really fascinating. Also, I haven't fully watched Pavara's thing that she dropped this week, which I really want to watch. But I also was like, what the hell? The seats are not in the same place. Like last season, it was symmetrical.
Oh yeah.
The blue Aja was straight across from the Amerlin seat in the hall, and this season it's 5 on one side and 3 on the other. So the arrangement.
I did read the article. The shape of the hall hasn't changed. It's the
No,
placement
they
of
just-
the Amelin seat itself.
Yeah, they changed the placement of the seat, and then they changed the placement of the sitter seats so that they're
Yeah.
grouped differently as well as in different order. But then,
So
of course,
Meg's looking confused right now.
Well,
Yeah.
so to go to the books, like canon or like whatever,
Yeah.
Hall tradition says that the oldest sitters get the
Mhm.
seats right next to the Amerlin.
can
and
choose
then
whatever
basic-
seats they want if they
Can
want.
choose
to.
Well,
whatever
yes,
seats they
that's
want.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah.
then after that, so they kind of let them choose their seats first, and then everybody
Yes.
else just kind of files in first come, first serve.
And knowing that,
But yeah, I
has-
did not know
yeah.
about that the Amerlin seat wasn't placed center.
Yeah, if you look at the shot from season 1, when we have the down shot,
Mhm.
they're symmetrical. The seat is here, and there's red and green, and then there's in the
Is
hallways.
it literally just the
the other 5.
cameras turned 25 degrees?
No,
No,
they've
so,
moved it. It's straight up. Look at
let me-
Pavar's article. It's amazing. I have it
Pavar's
drawn here
article's
too.
great, yeah.
Here, I have
Oh,
it
I
in
was going to
sticky
say, I was
notes.
going to do a drawing quickly.
This
if you could
is-
show it.
This is season 1.
Oh my god, we're
Um,
such nerds. I mean, I'm
we're
sorry,
this-
you guys are
yes.
such nerds.
Oh, shut up. This is season 1, and this is season now. This is season 3.
Mm.
And so
Mm.
the Amarylline seat is by herself next to the door. She's right next to the door, which to me indicates, I don't know if Pavara said this or not, but like she's getting kicked out the door. It's like it's pushing her out.
She
in
didn't
a
say
sense.
that.
She didn't?
So no. So this is the layout of the of the house hall. So this is where everyone enters, Meg, right here.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this is to
Okay.
the Amelin study. Okay. Normally in season 1, Amelin's seat was right here between these 3.
And the blues were
Okay.
straight across from her, giving her
And so
power.
blues are straight across, okay, in the middle of the 5, and then it was the
Mhm.
reds and greens either side of her.
Mm-hmm.
But in season 3, if you look at the shredding, instead of her seat being here, her seat is now here, the first seat next to her entrance on the other sides. So
Mm.
you've got 3 by themselves and 4 on her other side, and she directly faces the entrance of.
Yep. Which is like,
Mm.
when you're coming in to be judged, it's very judgy.
Right.
It's really
yeah.
fascinating. And I was like having a conniption about it. And then bless Pavara, like I'm said, I'm so excited to watch what she wrote, but I haven't, or read what she wrote, but I haven't yet. But I was like, well, that's really fascinating to me because there's just so much symbolism and it's really, really cool. And when Pavara was like, oh, I guess they just like upped to like she posted something like, I guess they just had time to redecorate while they were gone in Kyrie. And then I was like, oh, of course, because the seat traveled. Because the seat, the
Mhm.
physical
Oh
seat
shit!
is
Yeah.
there in
Oh,
Kyrie.
I
thought
remember
maybe
thinking,
it was
oh,
just
the
they
seat
had a
travels.
duplicate.
Yeah,
But
it's not.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they have a duplicate, but no, they fucking picked it up and drove
I
it
think they
over
moved
there.
the seat. Yeah.
Drove
Which is
it
the-
over there.
They
Which
drove
is a
it
lot
over.
because we now
a
know
moving
how
van.
fucking high up the hall is based on the shredding.
Right?
I mean, if they're going to redecorate,
Yeah.
also they can redecorate after the shredding. Let's be honest
Yeah.
about that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you
Very,
just you
very
pick it up and move it and take it where you want to go, and then you put it back. I feel like let's just shake it up since we're back. Anyway, just
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a good article that Pavara wrote.
Did
so-
not
yeah,
notice that at all.
Yeah. That's
So.
cool. Oh, who hit Matt? Who hits Matt when
We
he gets
think
knocked
it's
out?
Tomas.
Oh,
We think it's
right.
who?
Tomas.
Spoilers.
Thomas.
Yeah,
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
that's right.
But I
Right,
mean, we
okay.
don't know.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I
that's
forgot. I knew
the
there was the
leading
theory, and I couldn't
theory.
remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
okay.
the whole Alana, Maxim, Ivan, Thomas going through the city thing
Got cut.
still feels janky, even though I know why it's not there because someone wasn't there to film and they had to cut the scene as a result. But yeah, it still didn't. Yeah, it didn't work. You could tell something was still missing. But the
And we
rest of
never
it
do
was good.
we never do see the shot of Tomas walking away from screen that we got in the behind the scenes, right? We never actually see that in the show.
Oh, you mean like in that
When we didn't know it
weird
was Tomas,
teaser or whatever?
Yeah.
the behind the scenes thing with everybody walking, and we
Mhm.
were like, who is the gray haired man? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like, that was the
Yeah.
biggest question.
Yeah, people were trying to figure out who that was the whole time. We never got
Yeah.
that. So
Ooh, I just want to point out too, I love this. And then this pays off in episode 8. Alana says, I don't want you guys, they're forsaken loose in the city. I don't want us to be separated from each other. And they look at each other and she says, go 2-1. And I love that they, as a 3-part system, still, she allows them to vote.
yes,
And if they outvote her, that they choose it. First of all, it says a lot about Alana that maybe we will think about when we get into the next season. I love her so much. And in the next episode, there's something about something about Maureen and Lan that I'm like, that just pays off. There's something about her letting them choose that I felt like paid off in the next one. It was just like, just showing that her warders are equal, even though Yvonne says, of course we're not her equals. They're amazing. They can move the
Right.
earth. But like, she's like, no, you are my equals. Like, it was just, you're my equal partners. And it just like, then it pays off with
Yeah.
Lan and Maureen in the next episode. It was just
It does.
beautiful. Just love it.
it was. Meg, what are your overarching thoughts of these 2 episodes?
Like the only thing I kind of had highlighted for 207 was, and it's just really something small, So when Baron's giving Moraine the map to the Waygate, and then Alana comes in as well, Alana gives Rand a look and says, "I hope you're worth this, boy."
Yes.
And I just felt like it was a really interesting way that she delivered it, and kind of some nice foreshadowing for later.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. It's
Which
great.
I just didn't pick up on it the first time around, or whatever, the millionth time around. This was the first time I picked up on it.
Yeah.
So
Same.
Yeah, it is it's almost like a I've got my eye on you type moment.
Yeah.
And it is
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Also, Matt, I'm sorry, but I love this line so much when Matt says, "Is this a sex thing or a murder thing?"
Murder thing. Yeah, either way, I wish you just skip the. Can we just skip it? Yeah.
Yes, and then he's like, "Either way, just skip the talking." And then Ishi's like, "Neither."
he gives him a smirk.
He smirks and shrugs at him like, "Neither, but I really wish we had time for it to be a sex thing. It's just there. It is there." And I'm like,
or let's be honest, or a murder thing, you know? Like,
yeah. I love me some Faraz so much.
Yeah.
I love him so much. Wait, there's one other thing too. Oh, go, you go.
Okay,
Sorry.
go. I was going to be like, I was going to talk season 3 stuff, to be honest. I'm like, I'm glad he's in the poster for season 3, because it's going to confuse the fuck out of people who don't understand, but also shows that they're not just recasting people, that they're going to have him still just play his part.
So do we think he's actually coming back as Moradin then?
Yes.
I don't know if he's coming back as Moradin.
Or do
whatever.
you think it's just a flashback from the Age of Legends?
No.
I think.
I love how you both said
Do you know
no at
what?
the same time.
Do you know what? Maybe they're gonna skip the whole body replacement thing.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, that makes sense.
I've made you a model. I'm just gonna bring you back as who you are. You know,
I think so
and
too.
then-
I think so too. And
So,
I think that
okay, so spoilers.
Spoilers. If anybody's listening who doesn't know the end of the series, stop listening now.
So is Rand going to be in Faris's body at the end?
What? Did I just I'm sorry. I might have just had my tongue wagging a little and panting a little bit, because yes, he is, and yeah. I love Faris so much. But actually, don't you guys think here's something that I think is interesting. We don't know Ishi as well before he stops being physically Ishi's body. And we get to know more of him better, I guess, in the series. But we know Ishi so well now that I think that the ending will be much more beautiful and poignant if that is what happens. And part of that is Rand letting him release for reals. It makes the ending of the series.
So do you think they'll do the body swap at the very, very end?
Yes. And I think that he will be like, "I am releasing you and letting you go." Finally. Maybe they won't I think they'll do the body swap, but I just think that like the ending will be about him actually giving Ishi what Ishi wants from the beginning of the fucking series. And like what we see in the end when he looks and he says, "I see nothing." I think if Rand is able to actually give him that at the end, I get chills. I think that it's going to make the ending even more beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, we do love.
Yeah, we do. And we want him to have that. We want him to be done. He doesn't want to
and that, I mean, if that is the case, would we even ever hear the word Moradin ever?
I don't know. I don't think so. Why?
I don't think so either.
I
think if it's Faris, I don't think you would.
I don't need it. And we also have like the whole it's confusing in the books when Lan has loses in his head, but then they merge with the Balefire and Shadow Logoth, and then and then he's like, it's just weird and it's confusing, because I was always like, is it because of the Balefire, or is there something else going on, or why are you connected to this guy? It's a muddy set. It's,
I mean,
I know, but it's muddy. It's don't cross the stream. But it's
exactly
muddy.
What it is.
It's muddy, and it's a new it's a new element. We didn't tell you before that you can't cross Balefire, and it never happens again, and nobody else does it, so we don't really know. It just
how in all of eternity, when they're throwing Balefire around, both in the Age of Legends
and in the Trolloc Wars,
and then Trolloc Wars and things like, and in the last battle when everyone's throwing fucking well, not everyone, but like there's people throwing Balefire around. How has no one ever crossed Balefire before? Like,
right. It's muddy. It's a muddy piece. It's always been a muddy piece of lore for me, so I'm okay losing that.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry, that was a really good. Sorry, I didn't expect it to go there, but when you just asked about that, I was like, oh, I'm very excited about that.
And then you panted like a dog. So.
I panted like a dog. I did, because Faris
hey, look,
is amazing.
these are beautiful people. doing wonderful acting. You know,
Mhm.
I've got to be honest. Like, I know I was on like a raga kick for a while, and I still am. But like when I went to watch Maya's play,
Yeah.
I was staring at her like acting because she was performing, and you watch the people on stage, and I was just like in my head in one moment I was like, she is fucking stunning, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
So these are beautiful people. All
Yeah.
it is not an ugly person on the show. I don't know
I
how
did
they
keep
managed it.
I did keep saying in episode 8, take your veils down, because I just wanted to see their beautiful faces. Take your veils down. I want to see faces. Because they're gorgeous. They're all three
Breaking
so
thousands
gorgeous.
of years of tradition.
I know,
Here's
because I want to see their
yeah.
faces.
Here's one thing that I also don't buy. So apparently I don't buy Forsaken out in themselves in the middle of blowing up a city. And also I'm not sure that showing Bane and Shead beating up Avienda was the best way to explain
Toe. I agree.
I understand that there's a time limitation and you need to sometimes put things in the simplest format, but to me, it was just like, here's this society we're not going to explain, except to tell you that they beat each other up when they feel like they've done something wrong.
Well, also, why does she have toe? We
Because
don't really know that.
they don't fully explain.
No.
It's like she took a sword while I was defending myself.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like something that would incur toe.
Unless she's like, okay, I was guarding her for some specific reason, and I
Right.
stopped guarding her to attack someone. That makes sense. But it's like
Right.
you were defending yourself.
It's almost they
Right.
make it like she was the Bane to my Chiad. Like, wait, she was the, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because they're showing you Bane and Chiad working together. So she's like, is it as if Bane had let Chiad fall? I think is the way they're trying to do it, but it's not. Because I have book lore, and I'm like, that's not what their relationship was. I don't actually see it that way.
Yeah, there was no setup. These were not characters we've seen previously. I either think they thought it would land better, or they recorded a scene and didn't put it in. Maybe it didn't fit in.
Yeah. Or and also, like, I mean, it is interesting to have Perrin and Hopper have to watch it and be very uncomfortable with it, but it also it just isn't. I agree. I don't think it quite. We'll get more lore. I think they were like, we have to shortcut the ideals this season.
Yeah,
they really shortcut it, and it on multiple watches it still doesn't land right. I'm like, all you're showing the average viewer here is here's a culture that no one really understands, and when they make a mistake, they get beat up for it.
Yeah,
I
admittedly I fast forwarded through it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I fast forwarded through it because I was like, I don't want to watch it again.
Oh, I have a confession. I did not pick up in episode 8 that Lanthir is asking Bail Doman to. I know why. I got so distracted with the go and take an object from the Age of Legends and like drop it in the ocean. He does that in the books, or gets asked to do that in the books, and obviously doesn't. I did not. My brain was so focused on that part of the scene that it didn't pick up that she was like, you remember that broken Quendiar I gave you? What if I gave you 6 whole pieces of Quendiar to drop in the ocean? Did not equate to me that she means drop in the 6 seals with the other 6 Forsaken in the bottom of the ocean so no one can open them and release them. I just
what did you think she was talking about?
I was focused on the moment where someone asked Bail Doman to put something from the Age of Legends in the ocean. I was just like, that's cool, that's a book moment. That's, I did not pick up on what he was being asked to put.
Which was where she was headed at the end of the episode, was to go get all of the seals
to get them. Exactly. I was so focused on the book elements of the scene, I didn't pick up on the show element of the scene.
Me too. I feel like I may have had the same journey, Rob, because I, like, when it happened last time and then I wrote this down again, I was
so
like,
I'm the third wheel.
Yes, you're the third wheel. Because I was so excited. I was like, oh, they're not going to, that scene with the bracelets is not going to happen. Like, they're not going to ask him to dump the bracelets in the ocean because we've just had the same line. You can't have the same line. So, like, I was like, okay, so and I was like, okay, cool. That's Rafe giving us an Easter egg. That's like, it's not going to happen later. So here you get it. But I think the first time as well, I may have missed that it was like, I have 6 complete whole ones. And this time I was like, yeah, I had the same thing. I had the same thing.
It's the seals. Oh my god. Yeah.
It's the seals that are not yet broken. And then she goes to get them at the end. She went to pick them up.
Yeah. And they are very much in pieces. Yeah.
Okay. This is something from episode 7 that I just want to that I think is just setting something up. Rena says, I've realized why you don't want to fight. It's because you don't understand what we're doing. And she says, I think I wrote it down exactly. The Empress has one job or one charge and one charge alone, to unite the world to fight the last battle. And I was like, oh, they're actually giving us, they're softening Tuon for us here. They're trying to tell us that Tuon's one goal is that she's no different than Moraine, which is I've spent my life fighting the shadow, and I will do whatever I have to do to fight the shadow, including enslave people, which is not okay. But it's deeper, because the Empress in the books is like, she's just trying to consolidate power, and also she's supposed to, like, the Dragonborn's supposed to kneel to her. But it isn't like this generation of people have been for 2,000 years since we went across the ocean. This family is only about one thing, which is to unite the world. That's what we have to do. In whatever way we can.
Now that you mention it, and I haven't thought about it this way. So in the series, not in the books, Tower Law says that the White Tower is supposed to chain and, shield the dragon and just use him as a weapon in the last battle. And then this then says to me, the Shan Chan has the exact same perspective where, if we get the domination bands or whatever, we chain the dragon, use him as a weapon. So it almost really, like, aligns their goals, which is really interesting.
And horrible.
Yeah. Except for the
yes.
enslavement on one side part.
Right.
But yeah, that's...
Yeah.
They're both after the same goal.
And frankly, Tuon or anybody Shanshan can say, you're literally wanting to do the same thing to the Dragon Reborn that we do to women as well. So how are you any different?
Yeah. It's just you're the women that we do that to, wanting to do that to him.
Yeah.
Okay, so my little thing that I noticed this time that I didn't think about was when Rand confronts Turok and he channels, like, the arrows of fire. The look on his face almost seemed surprised. Like, he wasn't expecting that. Yes, like, he wasn't expecting that to happen. Which I wonder if that's maybe a little clue that is Luce Theron already, like, seizing the source from him and doing things that he wasn't
suggesting
intending.
ideas that his subconscious takes advantage of.
Right.
Maybe
because, again, like, Rand has no training. He shouldn't be able to do that. So that's why I think, like, he has that look of surprise, like, oh, that happened. I didn't mean for that to happen, but okay.
That works, yeah. Initially, I remember watching that and thinking he was just like, because the guy's like, until death, and stabs himself.
But
in the
his look was before that.
Like,
his look was before that. Yes,
okay,
I made sure to pay attention. Yes.
I think I just sort of, like, melded them together. Side note, on that dagger that Sojin is using, must be laced with some kind of poison, because you ain't dying that fast from a tight... It's like, like a few inches long. You ain't...
I know.
Yeah, you ain't dying from that to the stomach in seconds. That's got to be some badass neurotoxin on that blade, I'll tell you that right now. In which case, someone at the Sojin, manufacturing plant was just like, here's your death blade, when your guy dies, or when
open in
dies,
case of emergency.
Open in case of emergencies and stab yourself in the stomach. It will kill you in 2 seconds flat. Do not play with it. It is not a toy. In case of emergencies, slice your finger. Please just give the fuck up. Because you ain't got time to kill anybody,
One other thing that I wanted to talk about, which I don't know why I didn't think about this before. So when Matt breaks himself out of his room and Paddon Fane runs away, I never made this connection that the White Cloaks happen to be in the same place. I would bet at this point Paddon Fane attaches himself to the White Cloaks and then kind of starts his machinations.
I love that you are right.
I did bring up on Threefold how this is the last chance saloon for Paddon Fane. As we've discussed on this podcast, I referenced this podcast, I'd be like, we've talked about Paddon Fane. He's kind of like been he's been wasted, and we hope he's just we're hoping that things have been set up and it's going to come to fruition in season 3.
He's on a poster.
But season 3, yeah, I know, in White Cloak uniform.
In White Cloak
3
armor, yes,
is the do and die moment for Paddon Fane. So I like this that he's run off and attached himself to the White Cloaks and been like, okay, this is my out. Shit went to hell. My boss died. And the kid's chasing me with a dagger that I thought was going to corrupt him and make him mine, and hasn't. So now I got to help this guy who's got a grudge, and I got to get out of Dodge for a while. And
do we think he's holding the dagger in the poster?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I think Matt gave that to the Aes Sedai or something. I don't know. Like, I think Matt's.
So is he going to get the dagger back at some point?
Unknown. I think it depends what he does in season 3. Personally.
So this is my wondering. So on that antagonist poster, which Jay Duffy posting Dane did nothing wrong with him on the poster.
I mean, he even looks a bit like, why am I here? You know?
I know.
What?
I'd be like, wait, did I open the wrong invitation? Like,
I know. It's so funny. But anyway, Elida, so in that poster, it's Elida and then Padden Fane right behind her, right?
correct.
So I'm wondering if somehow we're going to get that scene where, like, and again, I know it was after she, like, in the books, it was after she was established as Amaryllis that he comes and, like, whispers in her ear and, like, worm tongues in her ear. Yeah. But I'm wondering if we're going to see some version of that now, and then maybe he's going to take the dagger at that point. But I don't know.
That could be cool. But I don't know. My prediction for season 3 for Padden Fane is that he's going to be just the White Cloaks, just the Two Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where that's going. But yeah, Jay Duffy's face is great on that poster.
Yes.
It's like, did I take a wrong turn? But like, no, dude, you did not. Sorry. Yeah, it's gonna be great. I cannot wait. This was a really good in terms of ending a season. I understand that there was COVID and a character a casting change, casting loss actually for season 1 in the last 2 episodes compared to this season for the last 2 episodes. But even if you had changed, even if you hadn't had those 2 changes, I still think, even with what we suspect the story would have been at the end of season 1, that the way season 2 ends is still far superior.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
And I said at the beginning, I'll say it now, I still got chills watching, Donal in Matt mode just being, blowing the horn and that, and then like Guy Roberts as Uno, just like,
Which, are we going to see that shield at any point this season, or do we think it's gone?
Did it disintegrate with the horn or whatever? Or
I don't think it did. I thought I remembered seeing at the end of the season it was still on top of the tower.
Yeah, I think it was still around us.
It is on top of the tower at the end of the season.
Yeah.
You're right. They fade away and it is still there. So does Perrin going to have it? He doesn't have a hand.
And does this like
no, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't have. I mean, look at the poster. He's carrying a hammer and an axe, and we see him in the trailer fighting with both.
Well, and it's some kind of terangrial because it pushes back issues weaves.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's just vibranium. So.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, Moiraine's scene where she's taking down all those Shan-Shan ships, and then Lan is just catching arrows and whooping Shan-Shan ass, like, it's so gorgeous.
Awesome. I was reminded about how awesome the scenes between the two of them is, where he's just like, let me back in, bond me again. She's
so
like,
beautiful.
Always been my better, all those things. It's just, it really.
And they are saying nothing, and it is like moving.
Yeah, it is very moving. Yeah. And just we know that they've told us that we know that they had limited time to do that, and there was like limited takes, and they kind of like small discussion about it, but basically just went out and did it. And I was like, that is quality acting from people that know their craft and have taken
and who
the
trust
time
their partner.
Taken the time to understand and trust their acting partner, and have just embraced the moment so wholeheartedly. It's pretty incredible. But yeah, and there were just loads of good moments as well, like things Lan was telling Rand before he went into the Amerland. There were lots of the whole Lanthirans, the Eldoman thing, where it's like dump stuff in the ocean that's from the Age of Legends. Like they're not verbatim from the books, but there's the Easter eggs are brilliant. And without spoiling anything, let me tell you, there's such good Easter eggs in season 3. Honestly, they're brilliant. And
I'm wanting to put out a prediction right now, and I want to kind of see your face.
Okay.
So
I'm doing the Wu-Star thing, like hands down the face thing at the moment, folks.
or just put something in front of your face like that.
So at the end of the 11-minute shredding, we kind of see everybody heading out into the streets of Tarvalon.
Right.
And we see Alana confronting all 8 of Leandrin's cabal.
Are there 8 there?
Which it looks like there's 2 reds, her
Right.
and another red, and no white Aja. Just saying. Every other
No,
Aja
the white
is
one got
represented.
pummeled by Liani.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Anyway, and then we see Suan like walking around. So I'm thinking at some point it's going to kind of coalesce with like her getting backup from other people.
Right.
I think that Egwene and Elaine are going to be contributing to this because Egwene
Why is it always Egwene?
Because it is, because it's always fucking Egwene.
I'm sorry, this has got nothing to do with my reaction. I was just like, I did not expect you to say Egwene. And I'm like, it's always fucking Egwene.
Because she has been trained as a weapon at this point. And so she is probably almost as well trained as any Green Aja in battle, like, weaves and things like that. And I'm thinking this is like, okay, this is like her proof that she is ready to be raised to accept it.
Oh, okay.
That's my theory.
Okay.
Of course, it's Egwene-centric. So.
Of course. Yes.
Yes. She's a fucking amazing person.
I know we need to wrap up the episode. Jen's got a heart out. It's just about to be hit. Amazing end to season 2. Great setup for season 3, I think. And I would like to give you a non-spoilery review of episode 301.
Yes, please.
For you to enjoy in less than... It starts in a week's time exactly. Okay, it is 1 p.m.
Yeah.
It's basically 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. UK time. That's when it happens.
It's a week from today. Like
right
now.
Right now.
7 days from basically right now,
This
you two
minute.
will be
Yes.
basically starting to watch this. Okay? I laughed at outrageous, hilarious fan moments and book moments. I cried twice at a moment I expected and did not expect. And the moment I did not expect is an exquisite book moment. And it just absolutely fucking moved me. I screamed at the screen in both surprise and excitement and anger at characters for what they were and weren't doing. And it blew my mind. It felt like a finale episode. There was a moment where I was just like, oh, what I hoped didn't happen happened. There were moments that I did not expect to happen. It's just so much amazing about it. It is absolutely, you know how they've all been saying for months, like, oh, season 3 is another step up. Season 3 is another step up. They were not lying.
Okay, Jen, do you think we're getting Twisted Redstone Doorway this up, like 301?
Like Matt going through it in episode 1?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Matt going through it, right? Because you're like, well, it was in the shredding, so you know it's in there, right?
Well, right.
No,
yeah.
I don't. He'll go through it in episode 2. Did you read the descriptions of the episodes yet?
I did and instantly forgot them, if I'm honest.
Yes.
Oh, I was supposed to send them. I was supposed to send them. I just remembered I was supposed to send them to Bree because they took them off.
So episode 1 says chaos erupts within the White Towers. Our heroes become targets of a new evil. Episode 2 says a dangerous visitor comes to the White Tower. Elida. Perrin or the Gray Man. No, you wouldn't know because you implied Gray Man in episode 1. Anyway,
I didn't imply nothing. You said that there would be a new dark friend, a new shadow spawn. Sorry, not dark friend. Mm-hmm. And apparently, I made
and technically, Gray Men are not shadow spawn. Anyway,
there we go. So who knows?
They're technically not.
Okay. Perrin returns home. Rand and Egwene forge their own path under Moraine's watchful eye.
And I think it doesn't say anything about Tenchico. Read the next one.
So episode 3, Nynaeve and Elaine are given a deadly mission. So this would be Suwan sending them on their mission. Perrin learns the consequences of his rage. Some people keep saying this refers to Layla. This refers to him killing Bornhald and the White Cloaks coming to the Two
I would
Rivers.
agree with that, yeah.
Hundo P.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, I said Hundo.
Now I can relax.
I'm a fucking
I can relax my face now. I just realized we're talking about 303 and I can relax my face again now. Yes. I 100% agree with that, yes.
Yes, I do.
I was trying to hold my face in just a set position as you were reading.
Oh, I can be real now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sorry. His Rob actually reacting.
And then it does say Lanfear begins to play a dangerous game. Which actually leads me to something else with the universe. I'm sorry, Jen. Do you have to go, or can we talk? For
No,
another
I'm
quick
I'm
hot
t- I'm just
second?
texting my kids. Sorry, keep going on.
Okay. So there was some interview that led me to believe that Lanfear is playing in the world of dreams and fucking with Moraine. I don't remember what it was. I should have written it down, but so that makes me
missed this.
wonder if some of the scenes that we think are her visions are actually Lanfear just screwing with her dreams.
Ooh, I like that.
It's interesting, but I really do think that the spinning, every time we
Mhm.
see them spin, which we see with Lanfear,
Mhm.
is I do think that when we see them spinning, that is of the rings, because I think
Because
it
she
has to
is
do with
like
her being in the
upside
rings,
down
and
in the rings
she's.
and whatever.
I think she's
yeah.
even like, I think maybe the rings start
literally
doing. I
spinning
don't know.
in the rings. Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe the one where Lanfear is choking her in the Love Shack.
Mm-hmm.
Love Shack. No, it's in the inn. It's not the Love Shack. It's the inn.
Oh, where?
Oh, the Crescent Inn, right?
It is the Crescent Inn.
Yes.
Now then, that makes me thinks it's in the rings. I don't know.
Other question: do we think we're going to see Avienda's visions of the future? I mean, because
Of
we
the
know
future?
she's there.
No.
So you don't think we're going to see that at all?
No.
Okay. I didn't have any particular opinion. I was just curious.
Yeah. No, I think we'll see Moraine, and then Avi's will be kept a mystery to us as viewers, so that we, because Moraine's story is ending this season, or at least
we think so.
that's what it's looking played out to be. But Avi's story is just starting, so you don't want to spoil it. And visions will, could send you in 9 different directions. But why waste the screen time sending you 9 different directions when you could keep the mystery of which direction's right by just not giving you any directions and just have her story unfold? So yeah, I don't think we'll see hers. I think we'll see her probably confused and shaken by some of it. Book readers will understand, but show watchers will be like, "What the fuck did she see? If that's what Moraine saw, what did she see?" And there'll be automatic intrigue in the character as a result.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh wait, and then I was just going to say, I'll just say this really quick too, because I felt like after watching the end of Soiraine at the end of season 2, episode 8,
207.
Oh, it's 207. You're right. Before the anyways. The other thing I felt like was, I said this to Megan a couple days ago. I feel like they're setting up. I think we're going to get the coup at the end of season 3, because I think we're going to see. Yeah, and I think we're going to see the coup. I think we're going to think everything's okay, and maybe the kids are winning. Maybe the light is winning. And then we're going to see the coup. At the same time, we see Moraine battling Lanfear, and Moraine is going to be dying as Swan is being stilled, or maybe killed, because
and
I don't
when
know
you
if we're
say
gonna
dying, spoilers, you say dying with quotes or dying without quotes?
Whatever the Redstone dying is. You can't. I think you can't not have her come back. But, and yes, spoilers. But I think we're going to see. I think it's going to be the completion of, and we're not going to know that Swan hopefully will survive and be able to actually teach Egwene later. I hope that still happens. But we may not know. We might just kill her straight up. But I think what we're going to be seeing is the end of their arc of like their love story dies at the end of season 3, as they both fall from power. Yeah. Why are you making that face, Megan?
Are you suggesting then that Moraine's going to end up with Tom?
No, please God, no. Please,
no, just
God,
in the
no.
she's going to assume Moraine has died. Okay,
Yeah.
no one's going to know where Moraine is. Lan's going to have the whole like the bond is gone type thing, and Swan is going to be expected to die because she gets stilled and deposed and all those things, and then like her story will continue. But they'll continue without each other. Even if Moraine comes back, they don't see each other in the books for probably a very long time.
I don't think they ever see each other again.
Yeah, there we go. Moraine doesn't pop back and be like, "Hey guys, I'm here," but 1 second, "Hey girl, look at me, I'm like."
Yeah, no, they see each other during the last battle for sure.
But that's probably it.
Because they're both like around Egwene.
In the show, not the book.
No, in the book.
In the book, they never see.
No, we don't see. They don't see each other on the page, but there's no way they don't run into each other during the battle. Like, they're. I'm sure they do. But are you ready? I'm gonna make all the book clubs hate us forever. I know I'm the one who has to get out of here, but here. This would make people lose their shit, and they'll get really, 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 really mad about it. I think that they're bonded. I think that the bond is still there. I think they bonded each other over the oath rod. It's a different kind of bond, but I think they're bonded. And I
They
think
bonded
that,
on the oath rod when
when they got
doing
married
her
in season 1.
in 106.
Yes. And they got
Oh.
married. Do they actually have a bond? I think they can feel each other to some degree. And I think that when Maureen goes through the Redstone doorways and Lan rages because he thinks that she's dead, I think Swan is going to have the same severing of whatever that bond is. And I think that is going to be part of her losing the Amerlin seat. And I'm sad
Oh.
and I'm ready. And I
No.
think that's going to be our big finale.
No, I had it better. Do you know how when she gets healed by Nynaeve and then she feels her water's death?
Oh, right.
Imagine if
Oh.
she gets healed by Nynaeve before Moraine
then
gets
feels
rescued
Moraine.
and then feels Moraine's death.
Ooh.
So
Yeah,
it's a
that's
book
great.
moment, but not exact. Like it's a new
Yeah.
turning of a book moment. Ah, that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. And
Yeah.
that's your final
Anyway.
thought of the episode and of season 2, folks. So we did it. We did all 16 episodes. It took us 6 months, but we did it. 23 episodes it took us, but we got there. Ladies and gents, the next time you hear from us, it will be discussing bare minimum episode 1. It may be just episode 1. It may be episodes 1, 2, and 3. But we are now on a weekly release schedule. In 2 weeks' time.
Yes.
So in 2 weeks'
In
time,
2 weeks' time,
we start doing weekly releases.
I'm so
for
excited.
season
I'm so
3.
excited. I'm so excited. I can't wait.
But yes, at time of recording, you will be at least 5 minutes into episode 1, so you will be enjoying the shredding. The action will have kicked off, I'm certain. At this stage, Meg will be kicking herself for seeing Hall of Sevens all over again. That's not the Age of Legends scenes. Love you, Meg. What a stare I'm getting right now. And yeah, we will be back we're 12 days away. Is that like 8 days away by the time this episode comes out from the release of season 3?
Yeah.
Which I cannot believe has come around. It's here. It's happening, people. So thank you for people who listen to us and enjoy the podcast. Please rate and review us on your podcast app of choice. Or if you're watching or / listening to us on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Comment below with what theories you liked, didn't like, and what you think we were cuckoo kachoo. Follow us on Blue Sky, which is at malkirtalks.threewheeling.com. No, threewheeling.malkirtalks.com. Yes.
Yes.
I think one day I get this right. Or you can follow us on Instagram, where you can see Meg's awesome cocktails, which is 3.wheeling. All the show notes are there with all our connections. You can come listen to us live as patrons, again in the show notes. And we will see you in 2 weeks' time, or maybe sooner, depending on how we feel, but at least in 2 weeks' time, when we start discussing season 3 of The Wheel of Time. And that's it. So, I love being able to say that.
I know.
That's so
So
good.
exciting.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Once again, we've proven that even when you're the third wheel,
You can always find a place to fit in
Join us next time
on Three Wheeling.
on three wheeling.
on Free Wheeling.